Okay, this is a USD CAD from 12 November last year. And I was thinking that I was like again calling the top and wanting it to reverse, but on a bigger time frame I could see that it was a fib setup, but I probably took it prematurely, taking this fib instead of this fib, which made a difference in performance. So in this case I would waiting too long is not an option when you are a day trader, so I guess nothing could be done better. Just a little bit, wider stop loss. Basically, the reason this trade failed was because I used the fib 50, although it seemed to be fib 61.8 if we took the measurement from a wrong point. Therefore, it is fib 50. So the reason it failed is because I took a fib 50, not a 61.8. Actually, this is strange to consider this a long trade, although it's okay, like in alliance with trend line, let's say, in a general longer term trend line. But if we take this fib, it's distorted, it's below 61.8, and then price swings back to the 50, making it a little bit more like a counter trend play. But instead I decided to take long here. Probably because I failed to read market structure. I was hoping like this level is going to act like a support. I ignored the last fib, and so I was hoping that perhaps now, so hopeful trading. Yeah, hopeful trading. Hopeful, not non-trading. Moving averages are in consolidation zone. This fib is distorted. I would say like this is the main reason it failed, because of this distortion. It just failed to respect this level of any way. Here's another trade on USD CAD, because I took two, and those were consequent losses. Because so the reason it failed was because I was impatient. I took a wrong fib measurement, hoping it's not going to retrace down. So hopeful non-trading would be the reason. To fail. And the same as previously, so wrong fib measurement, wrong fib, and also oh, that's actually all. GBP AUD, this time the fib was good in terms of 61.8, but the structure and candle flow wasn't that good. So the price rapidly took over. Those candles were too big compared to the other ones. And this move seemed to be like a part of retracement. So it would suggest that the price action lost its steam. Therefore, going long on this was just illogical. So I would say failing to read market structure, failing to read a candle structure. And because market structure alone would actually support a good setup, but given the flow of candles, it wouldn't be appropriate to enter a long here. And the moving average would actually support the idea of staying safe and observant than rather just go long. GBPTHF. I don't remember why I took this long. Why would I even want it? There was no fib retracement. We were approaching a very important level. Moving averages were pointing towards down. So it was a valid pivotal trading, but not a long from here, but a short, rather a short. It would be actually very good short. Why going long on this? No reason. I cannot find any reason. Perhaps VWAP. Yeah, perhaps price finding support on VWAP. Yes, I understand why. Because I saw this candle and I thought it might be like some kind of breakout trade and we could make some higher highs, but it didn't work out. Okay, this is USD/JPY. I've entered long, but I haven't paid attention about the market structure over there. If I actually did this, I would then think, like, was it actually a good entry for a short? I would say yes, because otherwise we would have to kind of trade pivotal trading and take a short from there, but it would be quite risky actually. But here, the market works like it's trying to trick traders. So a perfect fit 61.8, a small candle, not engulfing one. So the question is if a right fib can be a confluence to enter both short or long, and this is a good question actually. So in this case, this level 29.2 from this move was also a confluence to spook this fib. US Tech on 6th November. I wanted to long this, although we were okay. The bigger picture is that there was probably a fib setup. So I was hoping probably it's going to be supported by the 50, by the level 50, and so it went through 61.8. But if I paid enough attention, we could see that the price did not respect it quite the 61.8. And it went really through that level. So also on a bigger time, on a bigger scale, this fib 29.2 was a confluence, or could be a confluence for a short. So entering a long wasn't justified, although moving averages, yeah, they were weakening. So it's like VWAP. Let's put a VWAP there. No, it was just unjustified to count on a reversal so quickly. Like, it wasn't that obvious actually. There has to be some other details. Yeah, the candle shapes. So going up is kind of retracement, and going down, the market has more steam to go down. So looking at this, like the candle size flow ratio, it would be much more reasonable to go short and look at this candle. This would be a perfect confluence and huge engulfing candle in the downsides. So it was more like a swing trade. So it's mixing biases. Mixing biases is the cause that I lost this trade, because I wanted to scalp it long or day trade it long. Well, day trading and long would be from here, would be possible from here, and taking the whole measurement, yeah, it would be from 61.8. The first bounce from 61.8. And it's not always possible on Forex. Like, this is just possible on Nasdaq. So basically, to say it again, to emphasize it again, I wanted to enter long from here, but I could not because it was 3 in the morning. So instead, I thought here is a good place and time to enter long. So I was looking at this fib, but instead the market punished me severely by printing a huge candle to the downside. So that's kind of interesting. Could there be a sign that it would be better for me to enter short instead? Like, I would have to look for shorts, because if you look for longs, then you have a bias, already a bias, and you know, this measurement would support. Like, although yes, this measurement is a 50 fib, so it would have to, like, you have to be really mindful. So looking at this, okay, this gives me only a 50 fib. So there's something odd going on. So perhaps it's not going to play out as perfectly as I think. So I have to look in the bigger picture. So what is going on here? A huge fib, huge retracement, and a bounce off that point. And why should it not go completely in the other direction? Like why should not completely change the trend now? Because we had a huge swing down towards 61.8, and the reason why it might not work is because it did not respected that 61.8. It disrespected it. So therefore it might go farther downside. Not always the case, but we are studying it. I'm studying it. See, we not always have this kind of retracements even over there. Here is a clear disrespect. Disrespect at 61.8. Very clear disrespect. USD CHF. I took this trade with Brutus, but it turned out for me to be a loser anyway. I had to somehow experiment with the stop loss adjustment, so my manual trailing stop loss has made me unprofitable on this one. And structurally, there was some, like if my entry was here, then it wasn't a good trading, it was a wishful trading. Like it should have retraced a little bit more to enter this. It wasn't a perfect entry in my opinion. It had to be something else, like perhaps 2 hour. Let's go over it. Or some kind of breakout trading. Like very little confidence in this trade. I had very little confidence. That's why it turned out to be a loser for me. It might be due to lack of time, that I have very little confidence in this, and I was following some kind of signal. So cutting winners, short. This is the category. Other than that, I wouldn't. I don't see any fib. Although structurally, yeah, it might be something, because you had some structure over there. Here, you could actually go long on this, but not from that high. Eventually, like seeing the fib, which was above 50, which wasn't a ideal fib, but this engulfing candle would probably be enough for me to consider going long. And VWAP, let's place a VWAP there. Yeah, it would be aggressive scalp on for a VWAP as well. This is exactly how the chart looked like on AUD USD when I was trying to long it. And although it seems like it was a profitable trade, I couldn't take profits on this, and I went break even each time for some reason. Why had I so little confidence in this one? Perhaps because the moving averages were in a downtrend, so we were shifting. It was kind of reversal trading, and I wasn't that sure if this is going to go in my direction, because I tried, as you can see, I've tried to catch the reversal once, and it didn't work out for me. So this time I thought, yeah, it could be the same. So I was extra cautious, but this extra cautiousness costed me potential winning trade. Although at that time I had no, yeah, anyway, I wouldn't be able, no, I would be able to make some profit on this. Although I was unable to hold position over a weekend. Which is a very important function for your trading account to have. So what was there? It was a reversal trade. So this trade would go into category reversal trade, break of structure trade, and possibly even a swing trade. We had some kind of head and shoulders there, but it wasn't a clean head or shoulders. A divergence, this blue point, yeah. Extremes of RSI. But here I don't understand, why would I? This must be deleted probably. So the first attempt was a failure, although the first attempt looks better when it's up to head and shoulders, because we might have here the right left shoulder, right shoulder, and so it goes. It would be too easy if it worked out, but this didn't work out because we had distorted candle flow to size ratio, and this one actually pointed out towards a better like candle flow size ratio, because you can see those bigger candles are in the opposite direction than it was there. So actually all the volume that was like pumped into market to cause it reach that point again was now used to pump the market to reverse, and then we had a slightly better retracement, but it was anyway distorted, as you can see. It wasn't like a clean fib, it was a 50 fib anyway. So it wasn't a safe fib. 50 fib is not a 61.8 fib. Although the price was there, so it could be like validated. 61.8 was there in the form of wicks, not the whole candles. That's why this move took a while to materialize. So it was more of a swing trade because it took a few days actually to profit on this. 5 days. It wasn't a day trade or even a scalp. Most likely like scalp for sure not. Day trade also not. It was a swing trade. So reversals are swing trades. But what could I do better? I could just, if I distinguished that it was a swing trade, then I would hold it a little bit longer. GBP AUD. Here we have some real mess. And it looks like a seemingly good trade. I can even see the fib levels. So I was using volume profile here. I have some predictions. It wasn't perhaps, it was some back testing. I'm deleting it. And so the volume profile gives us POC at 50. Yes or no? I can't even tell. It doesn't matter. Yeah, there's a POC at 50. So it was a fib. It was a 50 fib. And that's why it failed. And the structure, so it was 50 pip and failing to read market structure. The reason why this trade failed. There wasn't a clear confirmation to go long. It was easy to actually to read at this point. It was an undecided price action to actually climb higher until this point, and from that point it decided to go a lot faster. So then we had huge rejection and the trend shifted, and there was a lot more steam to go down. Then to climb gradually higher. Candle structure was really, candle like size flow ratio was actually bad. I guess there's a ATR indicator for that, but it's better to just have this in mind rather than just look at the indicator. Although yeah, I might actually get that indicator myself next time I purchase a basic or essential part. Yeah, just because of the fib, just because of the 50 fib, it wouldn't be reasonable to go long on this. So that's it.